Before we get into today's show, I'm trying to get some help from boots on the ground out in Denver. So, what is the best place to get pizza in Denver, or honestly, wherever you're watching? The reason I ask is I got a good buddy flying out there next weekend, and so I wanted to, get some love from the Broncos Breakdown here with a bunch of awesome pizza recs. Or if you're not in Denver, no worries. Let me know your favorite place to get pizza in your hometown. Let's show some local businesses some love down in the comment section. What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson, and coming up on today's show, I have identified 3 under-the-radar players/targets after rookie minicamp that have a good shot, or the best shot, I should say, of making the final 53-man roster. So, let's dive into the players to keep an eye on for when it comes to our UDFAs. The first one, the linebacker out of USC. It is Kanai Mauga, the mauling linebacker, who benefits a ton from a lack of depth at that position. If you're a UDFA, you've got a long uphill battle to make the roster. I'm not giving anything. I'm not presenting any new information. But it does help if you go to a team that maybe is a little thin or skinny at that position, like the Broncos are on the interior linebacking core. Alex Singleton, Jonas Griffith, hell, even Josie Jewell, those guys are going to make their roster, don't get me wrong, but Justin Trinidad, Aaron Patrick, there is room there. You can break some glass above you and crack this roster. Could you do that if you were a wide receiver? I don't know. Pretty tough with names like Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, all locks. Now, Mauga last season, really his entire career at USC, look at him. Eating up some some sack lunch right there, taking down Justin Herbert, was awesome as a Trojan. 5 sacks in his career, 3 interceptions, 16.5 tackles for loss. He was a beast in Southern Cal, and he's got a good chance with, I think, a very thin inside linebacker core right there to try and make this roster. But without even just calling out one player, will a UDFA at all make the 53-man roster? Y for yes, N for no. We know Denver's got a good track record. It's a good spot if you're UDFA to make the roster. It's been several straight years, you can go back to the last 5, for example, right here, of a UDFA making the roster. Mincy, Bassie, Malik Reed, Phillip Lindsay, the first UDFA, or the most recent one, to go to a Pro Bowl as a running back. Jamal Carter, the safety, he bounced around a little bit after that, but the Broncos, it's even more than this list right here. What about C.J. Anderson, Chris Harris Jr.? This is a organization, a franchise that, for whatever reason, breeds UDFA stars. So, I would not be surprised if that streak, that run continues into 2022. What about Chris Allen, the edge rusher out of Alabama, who was awesome for the Crimson Tide when he played? You can put a big asterisk and underline next to when, because he missed a lot of time. He only played in 1 game this past season. He missed the entire 2018 season. But in 34 games down in T-Town, 7.5 sacks, 19.5 tackles for loss in just 34 games. For a UDFA, you like your chances right there. Injuries are the only thing that's holding Christopher Allen back. He was limited during rookie minicamp, which just sucks to see. Because if we've got any Alabama fans watching right now, you know that this guy was a huge shot, a big high potential, high ceiling type of player that injuries kind of derailed his collegiate career. And in Alabama, there's a 5-star as the backup. So if you go down, Nick Saban, he ain't sweating much. He's going to put another 5-star on the field. So we'll keep an eye on Chris Allen. We'll check out the last person, by the way, that could make this roster from a UDFA standpoint. But help me out. We are less than 50 subscribers away from cracking 8,000 subs. I greatly appreciate everyone that is already subscribed. Send it to a friend if you have, but if you haven't already, make sure you hit that big red button and subscribe. And if you already have and you want to find even more ways to support the show, YouTube has introduced a new feature called Super Thanks. So you click on that little heart icon right here, with the money sign right in the middle of it, next to the thumbs up icon, and send a little tip my way. Helps keep my dog happy. She gets some extra toys. You get to appreciate. You get to show some love to the show. And if you super thanks, I'll give you a shout out on the show. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want to talk about it, and we can open it up to discussion here on the channel. Hit that super thanks icon to get on a future Broncos breakdown. My third and final UDFA to watch for is offensive lineman Sebastian Gutierrez, the D2 product out of Minot State. Yeah, you don't really see many D2 players make a ton of noise when it comes to the NFL. In fact, he was the first player from Minot State to make it, I think, in like 40 years. It was a very long time. Anywho, okay, let's check out the depth chart, because this is the name of the game for UDFAs that want to make the roster. Go to a team that doesn't have a ton of depth at that position. And the Broncos, this offensive line is not in stone, okay? Billy Turner, Calvin Anderson, Tom Compton, they're all going to be battling for that right tackle spot. But you better believe it is an open competition. The only job that I would say is not up for grabs is Bowles on the left side. Everyone else, if they have a crappy spring training, OTAs, minicamp, all that good stuff, their job is very much in jeopardy. This guy also has an awesome story. Like I said, came from Minot State, a D2 school up in North Dakota. He came in to college as a tight end, weighing like 190 pounds. Yeah, he's put on some muscle after that. So he has gone through the ringer of adjusting and learning new positions in the NFL in his collegiate career, and now you hope to see that translate to the NFL, because another great buzzword cliche, if you're a UDFA to make the roster, is be a coach's pet, be a Swiss Army knife. Be like, you need someone to do that? I can do that. Don't be one-dimensional. Don't be someone who's like, I play right tackle, that's it. And that's not what Gutierrez is. You know, Gutierrez can bounce around the offensive line. It also helps that the Broncos have made some room already on the O-line. They cut Drew Himmelman, and Zach Johnson earlier this week. So they've already made some noise right there. They try to keep that get that roster down to 90 players. I'm just saying, this would be a good opportunity to be a tackle as a UDFA for the Broncos. And I loved what I heard out of rookie minicamp from Gutierrez. I can't pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry. Gutierrez. I'm trying to say it differently. I don't know. All right. Anyway, moving on here. If you are watching this far into the video, then good chance we're doing something you like here. So type squad down below in the comment section. This will be our little secret. And for everyone that's watched this far in the video and type squad down below, I'll give you a shout out on the next or the one after that show here. That way I show some love to the guys that are watching all the way through and not just clicking out once they get what they want after 2 or 3 minutes. So I appreciate the gang that is watching our entire content. Go down to the comment section and then watch the next show to see the shout out for you got coming your way. One last time, let's run through these names here of players to keep an eye on for a UDFA to make some noise and make that roster. Mauga, Allen, and Gutierrez. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anywho, here's how I kind of look at it, though. If you want a safe pick, I think it's Kanai Mauga out of USC. Okay, he feels like he's a great player at an easier position to make this roster. That would make some sense. Chris Allen's my high upset bet, meaning he was awesome at times in Alabama. And while it's not a ton of openings at this edge rusher position after drafting Nick Bonito and signing Randy Gregory and whatnot, but still, this is a player that maybe has the highest upside of this entire room right here. And then finally, my sneaky pick, the guy just to keep an eye on, is Gutierrez, the sneaky guy from Minot State, who at that tackle position, it's not set in stone, right? It's not concrete. Maybe that's a position where if a UDFA has a great performance throughout the summer, yeah, they'll save a spot on the roster for him. That's going to do it for us on today's show. I really appreciate everyone that made the show a part of your day. Hit that big red button, subscribe, and I'll catch up with you later with more Broncos news and rumors.